Watching Packers Total Access Live, your daily source for Green Bay Packers content. Created for the fans, by the fans.
What's up, guys? Welcome into the PTA pregame show. My name is Clayton. You can check us out on packernet.com. Find me on Twitter at Packers_access. Email us, PackersTotalAccess@gmail.com. You can text us 865-658-5824. Join alongside this stranger. Just came out of the bush from out there doing more manly things than talking football. We got Tim in the house live in Green Bay here to talk Packers-Niners as we get you guys and gals set for kickoff. But before we do, let's give a quick shout out to the good folks over at Ticket King, the official ticket provider of Packer Fan Total Access Live. Wisconsin-based since 92, specializing in Packers tickets. They are Wisconsin's largest ticket source with offices next to Lambeau and in Milwaukee. Click on the link in the video description and I'll send you their website, theticketking.com, where you can register for free as a customer and go ahead and start shopping around for your Packers tickets. Again, that's Ticket King, the official ticket provider of Packer Fan Total Access Live. We appreciate them always sponsoring the show. Tim, how you doing, big dog?
Happy to be back, man. It was a good trip. Got out in the brush a little and didn't see any deer, but had fun. Haven't done it in a while, so it was a nice little break. Got to spend some time in nature. One of my favorite things to do. You know me.
I hear you, man. It used to be one of my favorite things to do. And like I said, as time has gone on, I've gotten a little bit, away from hunting and all that type of stuff, the outdoors. I did enough camping to last a person a lifetime in the first 12 years of my life. So I'll tell you, though, this right here is right down my alley. We've been kind of following along with Aaron Rodgers, different Aaron Rodgers at AM Rodgers98 on Twitter, loyal listener to the show. He already chimed in earlier today. As a matter of fact, I think he actually commented earlier, go Pack Go, heading up to the stadium now. And he has sent me these pics, Tim, and absolutely love it. This was not one in Green Bay. You see the big Lombardi.
Love it.
You got him out there with the Lombardi statue. Great shot right there. Of course, the Curly Lambeau statue. And then the most important thing, the elk stroganoff. There it is. So he went with the recommendation. And I think he actually hit me back and said, I'm ready to lay down now. I'm telling you, it'll hurt you, man. There's probably 7,000 calories in that bowl right there, man. But man, is it good? You can see how thick the gravy is on it.
You got to finish the whole thing. You can't take it with you. You got to clean your plate, man, for sure.
Definitely. And I didn't like that his beer was so low there that early into the plate too. You got to be careful.
You got to
run out of beer.
In a middle reliever, right? You can't throw them all your good stuff.
So shout out to him. Appreciate it. I love when fans share that type of stuff, man. It's absolutely awesome. No place in the world like Lambeau Field. Prince in the chat, Bears finding a way not to win, still hopeful they take down the Vikes. Yeah, for you to give you all an update right now, the Vikings are still leading 17-10 in the third quarter, 9 minutes left. Now, I know there were some Packer fans that just thought it was just absolutely absurd that the Packers didn't blow out the Bears last week, and that means that the Packers are a horrible team because the Bears are so bad, but here the Vikings are barely leading by 7 points. Me and Tim kind of had a conversation about that off the air. We won't go too far in depth. Just the downplaying of Packers opponents to make the season seem worse than it is always mind-boggling to me. It's just it's a really strange way to fan. It really is. But Tim, we got some pretty much the most important news that we need here.
The list is in. The official list.
The list is in, man. The list is in.
Speculation is over. Here we go.
Rob Domofsky tweets out Packers inactives: cornerback Jair Alexander, safety Katano Ladapo, linebacker Edgerrin Cooper, and offensive lineman Jacob Monk. Defensive lineman Kobe Wooden, who was questionable with the shoulder injury, is active. That one kind of surprised me there. So Jair, we didn't really expect to play. Obviously, Edgerrin Cooper was ruled out yesterday. At least it leaked out. He was ruled out, so we kind of expected this. And obviously, Katano Ladapo and Jacob Monk here. Tim, this is listen, you'd love to have Ja and Edgerrin Cooper out there, but I feel really good about this considering what the 49ers are going through right now, man.
I do too, and even better about Kobe Wooden actually playing, because they're going to clearly try and run the ball. I'm assuming this is going to be the Christian McCaffrey show, and hopefully the day that we see these guys step up in the run game, especially guys like Kobe Wooden on that D line, and then with no Edgerrin Cooper, we're going to need Quay. We're going to need the best of Quay today out there with McDuff and Mr. Wilson. So see how it goes. Both teams are banged up. It's that time of the year, right? Nobody's got a clean injury report.
Yep. 'Tis the season, man. No doubt about it. So what we're expecting is somewhere between 35 and 40% of the snaps on defense to have our 4-3 defense out there. They run a lot of 21 personnel with Juszczyk and getting really creative with some of the other tight ends on the roster. There was multiple times I actually seen where it was a 22 set, but again, based off the personnel percentage numbers across the entire league, San Francisco 49ers run 21 personnel more than anyone else at, I think, like 38%, something like that. Now, as far as their inactives versus the Bears, defensive end Nick Bosa with the hip, he is inactive. Wide receiver Jacob Cowing, inactive with the concussion.
Wow.
Defensive lineman Kalia Davis, he is inactive. Defensive tackle Kevin Givens, he's inactive. Starting quarterback Brock Purdy, inactive. Cornerback Charvarius Ward, inactive. And now right here recently, I hope that list didn't go on longer. I'll double check. But tackle Trent Williams with the ankle injury is listed as inactive. So he will not play. And I'm going to double check. That was all. It was just a hashtag after that. I just checked on Twitter. So, okay. Tim, they're without one of the best left tackles.
Players they're missing. Holy cow.
Like when we talk about the tier 1 positions, right? They're missing a tier 1 position in Nick Bosa. They're missing a tier 1 position in quarterback Brock Purdy and a tier 1 position in left tackle Trent Williams. I got a pterodactyl in here again. They hang on down here in the South, man. They try to make it laugh. So, yeah, this is huge, man. Now, listen, again, there's going to be some fans that are, man, we better boat race them. No. That's not how this works.
Trust me. Beat them by 10, and we'll hear all the Niner gang talk about how, we were all banged up. You could only beat us when we didn't have Bosa or Trent Williams. Yeah, okay, whatever. We'll take the dub. Final score is irrelevant, right?
Absolutely. And at the end of the day, all that matters is the record, right?
Yep.
And, many fans, they love those blowout victories, right? And I was trying to keep tabs on the Colts game, the Colts and the Lions here. Okay, the Lions are pulling away now 21-6, just to give you all an update on that. So it looks like they're going to be able to defeat the Colts here. No surprise there. But, yeah, it's like coaches don't look at it like, let's blow this team out, right? They're sticking to the game plan. You've heard multiple coaches, including Bill Belichick, talk about the structure of a Sunday in the NFL. It's really simple. You come out, first quarter is all about gathering information. The second quarter is about the adjustment you made, right? You adjusted to that information you gathered, controlling the middle eight, and then the fourth quarter is a standalone game, right? That's exactly how they look at it. So in many cases, you jump up by 14 points, and there's fans going, I want the throttle kept down. I promise you the coaches are going, don't show too much. Let's get this win.
Yep.
Let's press into the running game now. Don't show too much to put on tape for our next opponent. That's really how they operate, how they look at things like this. So
you remember that was the whole thing with Aaron in New York, with Bob Saleh before the departure, where he kind of told him two score lead, right? He told him, hey, we just got a touchdown. Let's keep the foot on the gas right now because we want to get a 2-score lead. Usually in the NFL, especially once you get into that, fourth quarter, if you can get a 2 to 3 score lead, make it a multiple possession game, you got a good chance at winning as long as you play mistake-free football. And you're absolutely right, man. Sometimes being overly aggressive, pedal to the metal can really bite you in the ass in the long run.
Yeah, definitely. And one thing I wanted to look at here on the injury report, Tim, this is kind of throwing me off a little bit. We got a report, and they've been really accurate with everything they've covered, this at 49er Sports Talk. So it said the 49ers have also ruled out offensive lineman John Feliciano, which is their center.
Whoa.
And on the injury report, this was yesterday, by the way. On the injury report, he was listed as questionable. But when you go to the inactives, he is not on that inactive list.
So he's playing.
So John Feliciano is playing in that report that we talked
Kyle
about.
Shanahan's like, ain't no way. I'm not trotting out a new center and a backup.
Could you imagine that?
You're going to have to play. Sorry.
Yeah, get out there, bub. Don't care if you crawl off the field. Got to make it happen. So anything else you want to hit as far as the injury front here, man? I think we covered it pretty extensively. We got the actives, inactives. As far as players playing banged up, really the only one, Josh Jacobs with the quadriceps / calf. I think he's going to be on the injury report every single week because they work him so hard. They're just going to kind of, you know what I mean? It's almost like a veteran rest day every single week.
Yeah, and then you see him limited throughout the week, right? So probably lighter practices just to keep the workload managed. Same thing with Edrin Cooper. You look at the hamstring, that was something he dealt with during camp. We missed
That's
a big
true.
chunk of training camp with a hamstring issue that kept him off the field. We didn't get to see much of him during the preseason even. So, that popping up again is something to kind of keep your eye on. And hopefully it's not super long-term and super serious. He is a young player. That's the good thing, right? The younger the body, the quicker you heal up. So he's not an old dog like me and you. So I think he'll be all right long-term.
Yeah, we got it. The other thing too, like, listen, with Edrin Cooper this offseason, get him hooked up with Christian Watson and get on the same program, right?
Yep.
Because they worked wonders with Christian Watson's.
Yeah, my goodness, right?
No doubt about it.
Yeah, that's true. Like night and day this year, the last two for Scoot. So yeah, get the whole 53 in that room with those people.
Right. Exactly. So Wes Hodkowitz actually tweeted this video out earlier as he was in the stadium early, like he always is, just taking it all in like the true Packers fan that he is. Obviously going to be cloudy, overcast. I think they're saying around 42 degrees, the wind 5 to 10 miles an hour. Should be a perfect day for football. The kicking game should have no issues in terms of wind. The passing game in terms of wind. The surface should not be slick. Everything's good to go, Tim. This is like perfect football weather in Green Bay, Wisconsin, right?
Oh, yeah. Lights will be on early at Lambeau today for sure. Overcast, kind of dreary day. But, yeah, this is football weather right here. I love it. Like you said, I'm on your team, Clayton. I believe the game should be played outdoors. It's where it started. And this is a beautiful sight. And we all know that the men and women at Lambeau Field, man, they take care of that facility like no other. So I don't anticipate any issues at all. But yeah, hopefully the wind stays calm. I noticed that it's a little bit of a breeze, but nothing crazy. So should be good football weather.
Yeah. And then earlier this morning, QB1 entering the stadium. Obviously, Jordan Love rolling up. I seen someone commented, I'm just glad he doesn't have a Favre jersey on today. Remember the interception game? I would have been okay with it, to be honest with you. But so J Love getting to the stadium early, ready to roll. Excited to see him play today. Many people are predicting he's going to have a big game. Now, you got to be careful. You don't want to go out there and try to pad stats or try to, get too cute. Run the damn football, control the time of possession, make them play from behind with Brandon Allen at quarterback, right? And I don't know if you heard who's going to be starting at quarterback, but it kind of caught everybody off guard, Tim. We covered it here yesterday. It's going to be Brandon Allen instead of Josh Dobbs. So, and again, our conversation immediately shifted to, hey, look, Kyle Shanahan sees something in Brandon Allen that he doesn't see in Josh Dobbs, right? So don't be surprised if Brandon Allen comes out and looks decent.
Well, don't be surprised if we get all over him and we see Josh Dobbs too. That's a possibility as well. Because I don't think the Niners are going to come in here and just lay down because they're missing a bunch of key players. And don't forget, they still have Christian McCaffrey and George Kittle. Yeah, there's weapons there, and Kyle Shanahan knows how to call a game. So this is not I get it. Hey, get them while they're down. And that was a great opportunity to boat race this team, blow them out. I'd love to see a blowout at Lambeau, especially against the Niners. Gosh, I've seen some heartbreak at Lambeau Field against this team firsthand. But it's not as important as, like you said, going out and executing the game plan and making sure all your guys are doing their job and just focusing on getting the dub, man. I don't care if we squeak out of here again with a 1-point victory. It doesn't matter. The wins and losses are what matters the most. And, you want to take advantage, though, because we'll see it'll be real interesting to see what Coach Hafley has drawn up today for this backup quarterback here. I would anticipate heavy run game for sure from San Francisco. So hopefully the boys are ready, man. Yeah.
If you guys would hit that like button, feel free to subscribe to the channel. We appreciate y'all making a part of your pregame festivities as it is now 2:15 Central Time, inching closer to kickoff. I think we've got, a 3:25 kickoff. Going to have Tom Brady on the call. Going to be a lot of fun. I know these guys are fired up. A shout out to the GBC podcast at Green Bay Chat, the Lot 1 Tailgate, and Tim, the diehard Packer fan.
That's me. How can I be there and be here right now? I'm Tim, the diehard Packer. No,
I tell you, man.
Twin brother from another mother right there. Go Pack, go. We'll take it.
You can smell that picture out there, Tim.
Oh, yeah, man. I smell the brats. You can smell somebody probably spilled a beer already on accident.
Oh, you know it.
Yeah, gotta love it.
Is that a Lombardi made of aluminum foil right there? What
You
the
know
hell
it
is
is.
that? Yeah,
You know it is.
Look at the big trophy too. What's the trophy for? Is it like a drinking trophy or something? You see it back there?
Yeah, I see that. Yep,
That's high
these
school
guys, man,
championship.
they go all out. They got the full sound system, everything. They look like they got their own bouncer right there. Who's that guy in the reflective there? He looks like he's their own bouncer or something, bodyguard. It's pretty cool.
Oh man,
Lot one is the place to be though if you want to get that real full true tailgate experience. Just take a stroll through lot one. You got to do it at least once. They're all great tailgates though. Every lot at Lambeau Field, anywhere around there, but you know, you got to check out lot one for sure.
It says Prince in the chat says Feliciano is on the hour practice window and they didn't make a roster move to activate him, so he is out. There you go. So that's why he's not mentioned on the inactive. So he's definitely.
So we do get a backup QB and a backup center.
That's what it sounds like, right? I'm pretty sure he was playing center if I remember correctly. Let me just take a quick glance here if I can, and we'll put it on the screen here in a second. But yeah, they are showing Brindle as the starting center, so it'll be interesting there. For sure. Like I said, we'll get to the PFF preview again here in a second. Let's see here. Ron Sample, McCaffrey's going to be used in the short passing game. He's so dangerous there. Yes, he is, man, in space, especially if you go with like a two wide set, like a twin set, stretch that secondary vertically and then throw him on a swing. You could even have a backside like a T lead swing, right? You can see some plays like that, and also they're going to try to run him down our throat. There's no two ways about that. And I know there's some people going, man, this is a backup quarterback. Let's blitz him. Please, let's focus on the run. Let's focus on staying gap sound, right? I'm okay with rotating into the box. You want to put a safety in the box, I completely agree with that. But we get cute firing 6 and 7 on a blitz.
Oh.
I'm telling you, there's high school quarterbacks that could cut it apart.
And you know this whole game plan, anything in the pass game is going to be predicated on him getting the ball out fast. And if you're going to blitz in those situations, you're doing yourself a disservice because the ball is going to come out quick by design. We just talked about it. That's why I started this. This is a great point from Ron. McCaffrey being used in that pass game. You know, we talk about him running the ball. Yeah, these swing passes and those leaks, those can turn into explosives, man, with a guy like McCaffrey. So, you know, we've got to be on our P's and Q's, and really we're going to need we're going to need X, and we're going to need Javon Bullard and Evan Williams. We're going to need our back end guys to really be disciplined today and get downhill when they need to. So, you know, we can contain that because that, you know, between, you know, McCaffrey and Kittle, and then they've got, here we got the PFF right here. What's their receiver situation? Okay, so Jennings. So
Jawan Jennings having a hell of a year.
There's weapons there. So, you know, to think that this Niners team is just not going to do anything is crazy. So it's still going to be a hell of a ball game. And, you know, we have to beat them. You know, the injury report does not determine who's going to win the game. So we got to go out and execute.
Yep. So from left to right, now notice they're showing Trent Williams here at left tackle. That is inaccurate, okay? So they're without their best offensive lineman. Then you've got Banks at left guard, 69.2, solid run block or solid blocking grade altogether there. Brindle is the center, it seems, that's going to step in. Jake Brindle, been in the league since 2016. So listen, he's a veteran. There's no two ways about that. He's been pretty consistent as far as the PFF grade, just not that great. 60, 63.6, 58.8, 59.8, 62.9, 66.3, and then a 64.2 this year. He's the 16th highest graded center and was last year as well. So it's not like he's a horrible center. Now, obviously, his pass blocking grade of 44.2, not ideal, right? So they're probably going to try to give him some help on the interior when we do line up Kenny in that one tech from time to time, or if it's Wyatt in the one tech. So if they're trying to give him help, that should give us some singled up situations on the outside. But again, what I would like to see is a little 4-3 under or a 4-3 over and put a backer on the line of scrimmage where we got a 5-man front, and let's really, really try to shut down the run early. And then listen, if Brandon Allen beats us through the air, so be it. What I don't want to happen is us treat him like any other quarterback and or, you know, like a solid, you know, decent NFL quarterback, and you're playing off and you're kind of okay here, and then all of a sudden they're running the rock, you know, 6-7 yards a clip. I will lose my mind if that happens.
Yep.
So,
and we know we've had a tendency to be a little lax in the run defense. So, you know, today is not the day to think you're going to get, you know, the opportunity to take a play off or something. You know, we've got to go 100% here against the run, because I'm with you, Clayton. If this backup comes out and starts, you know, slinging the ball all over the field and our DBs are getting lit up. That's one thing, but we cannot get run all up and down the field all day today. Just can't happen.
Yeah. So obviously, Allen, we talked about 60 PFF grade this year. He's only thrown one pass, and it was for the Jets, believe it or not. Kyle Juszczyk is the third highest graded fullback in the league at a 57.7, but keep in mind they're only grading 7 of those fullbacks.
How many teams have fullbacks still?
Exactly. McCaffrey, 72.7, getting a late start, or a slow start, I should say here, as he stepped into the lineup the last couple of weeks. Like you said, Jawan Jennings, solid at wide receiver. Deebo Samuel, the 30th highest graded wide receiver in the league right now. He's still Deebo Samuel. Got to really key in on him, make sure he doesn't cut you up. George Kittle, that's the dude right there. Run blocking. We were talking about some of the running statistics with him in the lineup blocking. Just an absolute stud. You've got to account for that as well. Don't let him get you in a situation where he's able to, single block downfield, get hit one of those reach blocks at the second level and spring, whether it's Jordan Mason or Christian McCaffrey. And also Isaac Guerrero has been playing damn good football here of lately as well. So that's kind of what we're looking at on the offensive side of the ball for the 49ers. Now, obviously with Edgerrin Cooper being out, here's how your linebacking core looks. You've got McDuffie. They've got him showing in the will. We know that's very interchangeable. He's in the will, Eric Wilson in the Sam, and then Quay Walker at Mike. I think this is what you're going to see. I think Quay will be the Mike. He will get every single snap on defense. He's grading out a 49.5. Obviously, absolutely horrible year in terms of PFF with Quay Walker. Isaiah McDuffie, 57.3. That's the 64th highest graded linebacker. And then Eric Wilson with a 78.9. Definitely the bright spot in this linebacking core. I want to see Eric Wilson on the field a minimum 50 snaps, Tim.
Yep.
Like I want him out there. Quay, his snap count, and then Eric Wilson. I want to say put Eric Wilson out there the majority of the time, but again, we're going to be in a 4-3, roughly 40% of the snaps today, and then we're going to be in the nickel the rest of the time. So keep Eric Wilson's ass on the field all day long, man.
Absolutely. And even going back to Ron's point about, watching out for McCaffrey on these swings in these, shallow, short passing game. I mean, that's Quay Walker's strong suit right there. So you got to have Quay on the field. Because we can't just assume they're going to just pound the run all day long and not throw the ball. Obviously they'll probably be run heavy to try and open up that passing game. But, like you said at the top of the show, there's a reason that Coach Shanahan went with this QB rather than the other QB. So he sees something there. If that's true, which we believe it to be, then why would he hesitate to let the kid throw the ball? So, we're missing some guys on our defense too. Like both teams have injury reports. I mean, this is not a slam dunk. I think we're going to get a slugfest today. I really do.
Yeah. Ron Sample says, what is Eric Wilson's pass coverage grade? Let's take a look real quick. So his overall defensive grade is a 78.9. His run defense grade is a 71.3. Pass rush is a 76.5. And his coverage grade is a 75.1, Ron. So obviously having a heck of a year. And this isn't a small sample size either, guys. I mean, he's seen quite a few snaps. It doesn't have the total there, but I mean, you're talking about a lot of snaps, and obviously he's in the box the majority of the time. You see with these D-line snaps, he has mugged from time to time, so there may be an opportunity for him to blitz the quarterback or at least play a little closer in the run fit. He's lined up out wide occasionally as well as the technical slot corner. We know how blurry those lines are, obviously. I hope he's on the field a lot, man. I really do. As far as the snap count last week, they had Isaiah McDuffie play just a few snaps more than Eric Wilson. So I'm not going to be surprised if we go to the nickel, Eric comes off the field. I'm just saying I don't understand it.
Yeah, I don't either. Because this is another great question here. Look at the coverage grade for a linebacker. That's pretty damn good. And if memory serves me correct, we've seen more than a few PBUs and interceptions out of Eric Wilson this season, dropping back into coverage. So he's definitely not a liability in the pass game. So I would agree. Maybe this is the week they flip-flop, Clayton, and maybe McDuffie, falls to the bottom of that snap count list out of these three. Probably see him somewhere in the 30s or 40s snaps. Yeah,
could be, man. Could be. Drew D in Green Bay says Lambeau just did the 1 hour warning fireworks. There we go.
Love it.
And you've seen that a time or 12, haven't you, brother?
Just a few times. Yep. I love it. One of
All
my
right.
favorite parts. That means get your drunk butt into the stadium. Don't get caught in the line if you're out in the parking lot. That's your warning.
All right. So the other thing to key in on here, obviously with Jair being out, is Carrington Valentine playing opposite Keyshawn Nixon. Carrington having a decent year, man. Last year it was a 57.5. This year, 61.3 is what he's up to. Played quite a few snaps too. It looks like he's well over 200 snaps. Right at 200 snaps, looks like. So excited to see him get an opportunity out there. I think he's one of those guys. We talked about it during the week leading up here, Tim. He was all over the tape, stopping the run, right? Coming off his block, being really, really aggressive once the run was set to the outside, whether it was off tackle or a true stretch play. Carrington willing to stick his nose in there and make the tackle. I think today's a good day to have Carrington out there, man, because, listen, I love Jair Alexander. I think he's a phenomenal football player. But if you were to ask me who's better at run defense, Jair or Carrington,
It's
based
perfect.
off the tape I've watched, hands down, it's Carrington. So this is one of those games that it might work out with Ja having to sit out. That Carrington's going to be helping a little bit more in a run heavy game like this with the San Francisco 49ers. So
I agree.
we'll,
I agree. Ja has not been the same in the run fits since the shoulder explosion. Yeah. Yep.
yeah. All right. Keyshawn Nixon, a 56.8. Safeties, man, carrying the water this year, boy. Let me tell you, Xavier McKinney, 86.4, is the fourth highest graded safety in the league. And then, of course, Evan Williams seems to be fully healthy and ready to go, 80.6. He's the eighth highest graded safety in the league as it sits right now. So excited to see what those safeties can do. Now, if we were to switch to a nickel, which they're going to be in the majority of the time, we just simply wanted to point out that they are going to run a lot of 21 personnel. So obviously Juszczyk comes off the field, and when they go to their 12 personnel, they might play Saubert, I think is how you say his name. Nothing to write home about, 48.5 there. But when we go to 11 personnel, Ricky Pearsall is going to come in the game. So you'll be Jawan Jennings, Deebo Samuel, and then the rookie, Ricky Pearsall, is graded out as a 63.2. Obviously, we're going to play Javon Bullard in the slot, who's sitting at a 54.1, and they're showing right here on PFF McDuffie being in as opposed to Eric Wilson. I hope that's not the case, but that's probably what they're going to do there. So
that could be a fluid thing too, like for the staff, right? Maybe you start with McDuffie in this rotation, and then if you're not liking what you're seeing, you bring Wilson in.
Yeah, could be. And to give you guys an update, the Minnesota Vikings are pulling away from the Chicago Bears now. I think they're up a couple scores. Another game to kind of keep an eye on. It may have playoff implications for us on down the road. The 3-7 Dallas Cowboys are currently beating the Washington Commanders, who are 7-4. They're beating them 10-9 in the seventh inning here.
Wow.
And 12:58 left in the game. Cowboys got a crucial 3rd and 9 right here. Let's see what happens. See if we can convert here. Cooper.
When I think of the Cowboys, I just think of
playoffs. Don't talk about it. Playoffs.
You kidding me? Playoffs? Yeah. So they did not convert there. They're going to be punting the ball back to Washington here in the fourth quarter. That's going to be a hell of a finish there for sure. So
they're due, man. Dallas needs a dub, big time.
Yeah. Let's switch over to the Packers on offense and the 49ers nickel defense here. So you can see Green Bay on offense grading out pretty well. Zach Tom, a monster at right tackle, 84. Sean Ryan really coming into his own this year.
So good to see that, right?
Yes.
Because we didn't know for a while there. It didn't look good, but it looks good now. Nacho Libre crushing it.
And according to PFF, again, it's not everything, but it's Elton Jenkins is taking a step back according to PFF. Rasheed Walker obviously struggling in run blocking grade for PFF, but his pass blocking has been phenomenal. One of the best left tackles in the game in terms of pass blocking. The fact that he was a 7th-round pick is just absolutely wild. So you take the good with the bad there. Tucker Kraft now up to a 61.2, so he's slowly climbing into that range where it's okay. That's a good grade. Now, obviously, again, it's not everything, PFF, but boy, when we turn on the tape, Tucker Kraft, I think, is having a hell of a year. I really do. I'm excited to see what he does today as well. Let's see. So as far as receivers, Christian Watson, 73.9. He's the highest graded receiver on the Packers roster. He's 37th in the league. Jaden Reed, 72.7. He's 39th in the league. And then Romeo Dobbs at a 64.3 is 78th in the league in terms of PFF grades. I feel really good about our 11 personnel against their nickel defense here, Tim. I don't know about you. When you look at it, though, Fred Warner is still Fred Warner. He's an absolute dog. This familiar face, though, Mr. Devondre Campbell, right?
Here's the guy.
Grading out a 55.9. Tell you what I want to see. You remember that little shot we seen of
Wait, 55.9? Did you say 55 or 65?
It's 55. Now last year he was actually 65.1.
Well, either way, they're both.
That's terrible.
That is terrible. So what I want to see, you remember last week when Josh Jacobs squared up Jalen Johnson and said, "Come here."
Yeah.
I want to see him do that to Dre. I want him to run right through Dre's face. We'll just leave it there.
That would imply that Dre would be running physically towards him and trying to make a play, though.
I love too that this offseason he's talking about how he's finally happy again and he got out of that situation in Green Bay. Are you still happy, Bub?
That's the same thing he said when he got here from Atlanta. So
exactly. Everywhere he goes, it's everybody else's fault. Man. Yeah, exactly. All right. So in terms of their cornerbacks, though, they got Yadam at a 66.3, Lenore at a 66.0. Now, he's the one that was talking trash, licking his fingers when they talked about Jordan Love throwing interceptions.
Bird is going to light this guy up.
I can't wait. I cannot wait. And then, of course, their top-graded corner is actually Renardo Green, believe it or not. He's had a lot of snaps, too. He's now up to what? 270, 80, 290, right at 300 snaps roughly, a 79.2. Funny, he isn't running his mouth, and the other is the one running the mouth, right? It's funny how that works. So let me get back over there to that side. But yeah, so in terms of their cornerbacks,
safety too.
Yeah, their safeties, nothing to write home about. You got Mustafa, right? That was the guy that we looked at in the draft. So they got a rookie safety back there, grading out 65.2, and Brown a 65.1. Decent, right, for a couple young safeties. But again, the big weak spot for me here, their defensive line without Nick Bosa, man, is not that good. There's nothing on this defensive line that you've got to go, okay, we got to double team him. There's no Tuesday players on this defensive line minus Nick Bosa, and that's really exciting. So we'll see what Matt decides to do, if it's going to be scat protection or what have you. I say 5-man protection and let's just run our offense, man. Let's take advantage of the hat count, both in the run and the pass, and make them load the box, and then let's go some play action to Jaden Reed over the top, man.
I agree. I'm sure we'll see plenty of motion yards from Jaden Reed too today as well. Yeah. I mean, that you talk about, that's how we get those ideal hat counts, and you can get the defense to tip their hand with a little pre-snap motion, and LaFleur's a master at using it.
Yeah. I just want to make sure there's nobody we're missing. Charvarius Ward is not on this PFF diagram. So, yeah, we're good. Everybody here should be playing, to the best of my knowledge. So, anything else you want to add about the PFF preview here, Tim? Anything else at all, man?
No, I think it's pretty straightforward.
All right. Good deal, man. So, there you go with that. And we will, like I said, we'll keep up with the PFF grades. We'll bring you all the PFF grades on Monday for what we hope is going to be a victory Monday. We'll see. Got to go out and take care of business. Obviously, it's no team is just going to roll over here. When you look at their coverage in terms of schematically, the San Francisco 49ers on pass defense, their EPA per dropback is currently at a 0.01, and that is tied for the Packers. So the Packers and the 49ers are neck and neck in terms of expected points added, right, per dropback, which is essentially a good metric to judge pass defense efficiency. So when you look at what kind of defense they run here, and I'll try not to get too mixed up on where they are on the chart, they run cover 3 30% of the time. The Packers run cover 3 zone 30% of the time. That's pretty wild, right? Mm-hmm. Now, where they differ is they run a lot of cover 4 defense, which that's Shanahan playing that shell 22% of the time. The Packers are only running that 9% of the time. Okay. The Packers differ because they run a lot of cover 2 zone, and Tampa 2 can be mixed into that number there, obviously. So it's almost like where Shanahan likes to play cover 4, Hafley likes to play cover 2, and vice versa there. Now, as far as cover 6, the Packers are running cover 6 zone 11% of the time. The 49ers are running cover 6 9% of the time. That's still a healthy amount of cover 6. So, Jordan, got to be careful and not get caught up in the flat over there where the corner will hammer down in the flat on the cover 2 side. Essentially what it means, guys, when you're in a cover 6, and we've explained this time and time again, but let me explain underneath. We're always talking about half the field's cover 4, the other half is cover 2. What that means is you've got an extra defender underneath on the cover 2 side and one less defender underneath on the cover 4 side. Okay, so if you're going to attack the flats, make sure you choose the 4 side, right? And if you're going to attack up top, make sure you choose the 2 side. And you're going to need at least a 2 route combination to make that safety choose deep, right? It could be a go with a post. It could be a scissors look where it's a corner and a post, a corner from the 2, a post from the 1. You've got to create conflict for that safety and deep half responsibility there in that cover 6. And then your check down goes to the cover 4 side. Now, many teams, when they're running cover 6 like this, they will disguise. They'll show 4 on left, they'll show 4 left, 2 right, and by the end of the play, they're 4 right, 2 left. So you've got to really be able to diagnose post snap on what that's going to be. So in terms of man coverage, the 49ers run man coverage 24% of the time. The Packers only run it at 22% of the time, so slightly more. I mean, these numbers are really similar, Tim.
Yeah.
The only difference is they choose cover 4 over cover 2, right? And
we're the opposite, yeah.
And the large majority of the time, they're showing shell coverage. They're showing 4, and they're actually playing cover 3 zone, right? And that's another difference too. Hafley is not going to show as much of that. You see, he's getting guys in position pre-snap. Like if in the past, Barry would have showed a 2 high shell and then rotated that guy down post-snap to play like that mid-hook or that hook curl.
Sure.
And what Hafley's doing is pre-snap, before the ball snapped, the safety's already getting down into the box and kind of playing fast in that regard. So any comments you want to make here? Anything you want to hit on in terms of the defensive coverages between the Niners and the Packers here?
It is. You see the similarities, right? We're right next to each other on this list. And, really that's the glaringly obvious difference, what you just explained here. You know what I mean? Going cover 4, cover 6, or versus leaning towards cover 2. You see the discrepancy in the numbers, but, everything else is pretty comparable, I would think, when it comes to the coverages. And, we'll see what happens today. Jordan is no stranger to what the Niners try to do. He's seen plenty of these looks last year and in that treacherous finale to our season. And I'm sure he's excited to get out there today. And if anyone's done their homework, it's Jordan Love and it's Matt LaFleur. So this offense is going to be ready for whatever they throw at them today. I firmly believe it. Everything you just talked about, you got to know he's on that. You know what I mean? He's got to be on that, thinking about that. Hey, they like to use sugar. I'm not going to fall for the trap. Take the check down when I have to take the check down. Hell, take a sack when you got to take a sack. I don't care. Just don't throw that ball into the teeth of that cover 4 or cover 6.
Yeah, definitely. All right, now in terms of what's on the line today, and this was going into today's slate of games, if we're going to give you guys a quick update, go around the league before we get out of here and show you guys some of the scores that might have some playoff implications for the Packers. Going into the week, second week in a row, Tim, the Packers have the most at stake in Week 12. With a win, their playoff chances increased to 90%. With a loss, they dropped to 60%. Okay, the 49ers with the win increased to 53%. With the loss, they dropped all the way down to 15%. I know
this
they're
is
banged
a
up.
huge game.
No, surely not.
This
right?
is huge. Beat this 49ers team today, and we don't even have to deal with them in the postseason. You beat them now, so you don't have to beat them later.
Yeah, completely agree. So, again, this is going to be a playoff-like atmosphere. It's missing many key players, Jair Alexander, Edgerrin Cooper, obviously. You're missing Jordan Morgan, your first-round pick. And on the 49ers side, you're missing Bosa, you're missing Purdy, you're missing Trent Williams, a multitude of players. But there's going to be a lot on the line today. It's going to be a lot of fun. The playoff picture coming into this week currently had the Detroit Lions in the 1 seed. Looks like they're probably going to hold on to that as we get a little later in that game. You've got the Eagles at the 2 seed, the Cardinals at the 3, the Falcons at the 4, the Vikings at the 5. Looks like they'll hold on to that. The Packers are sitting in the 6th spot, and the Commanders are sitting in the 7th spot. And they are currently losing. If this flag is not going to affect the score here, 8 minutes left in the 4th quarter. The Cowboys are beating the Commanders 13-9. So Washington is about to sink in terms of the standings here a touch. And if we were to look at that real quick, let's see. We were talking Washington.
Favorite graphic. Here we go.
I'm telling you, man. So who would jump in their place in the NFC? It looks like nobody wants it. So I guess the closest one would be it would be
Rams?
LA Rams, Seattle, or the Niners, right?
Yeah.
Like that's essentially what you're looking at here. So very, very interesting there. Those are the three teams that the Packers are really fighting off. If worst case scenario, they have to settle on the 7th seed. Now, if Washington obviously loses today, then it's going to be Packers going to have a lot of cushion if they can pull out a win here against the Niners. It's going to be huge.
Yeah, this is huge. And an opportunity, like, we always say we don't root for anyone to be injured. And quite honestly, if you love football, you want to see the best on the best every single week. Nobody wants to watch a bunch of backups all the time, right? But at the end of the day, man, have a little class about it. But yeah, kick this team while they're down. I mean, this is your best opportunity. You're at home. Just play mistake-free football as best you can. I mean, they're going to happen. You're going to have drops. You're going to have a false start here and there. It happens. But if you play discipline and you're in the plus category on the turnover differential, you're good. I think you're good. You got a great chance of beating this team today.
Yep. All right. Let's go around the league real quick. That good with you?
Yes, sir.
All right. Let's take a look and see. You mark anything in the chat in there that you see, Tim, that you might want to hit on before we get ready to wrap up. Make sure we don't miss any super chats if any of those come in. But around the league, let's get to it, guys. Vikings are currently leading the Bears in Chicago 24-10. There's 8 minutes left in that ball game. And the Bears are driving, however. It looks like they're down to Minnesota's 13-yard line for a first down here. Caleb's looked a lot better, at least on the clips I've seen. Let's see what the box score is suggesting. 23 of 34 for 250 yards. He has not turned the ball over. I'd say that's a pretty darn good day at the office there. Not bad for a rookie quarterback who's played like absolute garbage at times this year. So we'll keep an eye on that. The Lions at the Colts. Colts just got the ball back, but the Lions are winning 24-6. There's only 6 minutes left in that game. Lions pretty much got that one wrapped up, so they will remain the number 1 seed in the NFC. The Dolphins are leading the Patriots 31-7. We got the Dolphins next week. Let me tell you boys something. The Dolphins, they are a wagon right now. Since Tua came back, that spark's back. That's going to be a hell of a matchup on Thanksgiving night. It really is. Packers, Dolphins at Lambeau is going to be really, really
short week for us too.
Yes, very short week. Yep. Next, you got the Buccaneers leading the Giants 30-7. I don't know if you've seen it or not, Tim, but Baker Mayfield scored a diving touchdown and stood up and gave him the Tommy DeVito in New York. It was awesome, bro. It was so bolsterous too.
Oh, Baker.
I like Baker, man.
He's just a football player. That's all he is. Just a football player.
All right, so you see the Cowboys are leading the Commanders 13-9. Washington's got the ball. They are currently at their own 30-yard line with 8 minutes left. There, we're definitely pulling for the Cowboys to somehow finish that game off there. The Chiefs are beating the Panthers 27-19. No surprise. Just an 8-point lead, though. Panthers do have the ball with 6 minutes left. That's interesting.
I think we got a Bears touchdown. We might have to refresh the score update.
Let's go. Let's see what we got here. Let's refresh. Oh, not yet. There it is.
There it is.
All right, so they haven't kicked
passing touchdown too. There you go.
They're going for 2 right now. Let's see. So it's an 8-point game. That makes sense, right? You go for 2 now. It's a 2 field goal.
Yep.
Potentially so. Interesting. Let's see if they get this 2-point conversion. We'll give you live commentary there. Trey Wright, T. Week from the 2-yard line. Caleb Williams, little F motion here. 2 bunch. Drops back the pass. Of course, they're not going to run it. And it's incomplete. He couldn't hit a bull in the ass with a mop. So that was terrible. Keenan Allen. Thanks, Chuck. Keenan Allen is pretending like he needs a flag here, but I got to be honest with you, man. That was looked like a pretty bad throw. So there you go. It's an 8-point game. So that one we'll make sure we watch the end of that as the Packers get set to kick off here shortly. Where were we at here, Tim?
We were on
just Titans.
Tennessee and Houston.
So, the Titans with 7 minutes left, roughly 8 minutes left, are leading the Texans 30-27. Looks like the Texans just crossed midfield at Tennessee's 46. So
that could make things interesting too.
It could.
Another loss for the Texans, yeah.
So we got a chance a couple things to go our way here. At least one, the Cowboys, if they can close this out, and they do have the ball now. So that's a good sign. And they are at Washington's 35. I don't know if there was a turnover or what, but it looks like there might have been. Yeah, I can't tell. Anyway, so if the Cowboys pull this one out, that's going to help our playoff chances on down the road if for some reason we're fighting for the 7 seed. And then, of course, the Buccaneers winning. It doesn't really hurt or help. They're pretty far down on the list here. Lions obviously going to maintain the 1 seed, and we're hoping the Bears can come back and beat the Vikings here. If they do, then that puts us in a position to take over that. What seed was it? They're in the 5 seed in the NFC.
I believe we'd go, up 1. Yep.
Yeah. So we would climb 1 into the 5 seed if we obviously defeat the Vikings on down the road, and their records are similar. So going to be interesting.
EJ in the chat, Washington just fumbled. Cowboys recovered.
There you go. Bingo.
The gods are with us. Of course, none of this stuff we just talked about means a damn thing if we don't get the dub today.
Right. We're resetting for next week, but that's what we do.
That's
what
right.
we're doing, talking football, man.
Yep.
Yeah, we got to go out and get this dub today, man. No doubt about it. Now, I want to give a shout out to Aaron again, who's been sharing pictures here on Twitter. This is a shot from his seats right here. So just absolutely gorgeous. Up just high enough. You can see both ends of the field, but just low enough to be right there in the action, no doubt. So appreciate him.
I've always wanted to get row 1 right down in that corner there. That's right where Leroy did the leap.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah,
Get a lot of interaction with the players there when you're close to the tunnel.
Yeah. All right. That's it.
For his first game, right? Pretty good seats.
Oh, great seats, man. You kidding me? Absolutely awesome. Is there anything else you want to hit on, Tim, before we get out of here, bro? I think we've covered everything.
I think we covered everything.
Yeah, no doubt. So, we'll be back for the post-game show immediately following the game, guys. So I'm going to get the post-game show link up, so look for that to be scheduled on YouTube here in the next 10 minutes. If you guys want to hop in there and chat, feel free to do so. I know some folks like to do that. So it'll be up here shortly. Tim, it's good to have you back, man. Appreciate you.
It's good to be back. I feel like I'm catching up now. I'm kind of out of the loop for a minute there.
Yeah, you didn't miss much at all, man. We're good to go. We're ready to roll, bro. So
Air Jordan, baby. Let's go.
Let's go. Let's get it. All right, that's going to do it, guys. We will see you for the PTA post-game show here shortly. Still looking for Justin Connor. If we don't hear from Justin Connor by the end of the day, then the autographed Romeo Dobbs card from the last giveaway will go to Jabin Tebow. And then we'll do another giveaway next week, most likely. So we're out. Appreciate everybody. For those of you listening on the pod, thank you for making us a part of your day. We'll see you here in just a few hours for what we're hoping is a victory party in the PTA post-game show. Y'all take care.
You're watching Packers Total Access Live, your daily source for Green Bay Packers content. Created for the fans, by the fans.